today's episode, we will talk about Heal Your Lifestyle Through Diet, and we are joined today by Miss Helen Wong-Chin. Miss Helen completed her Bachelor of Science degree in Dietetics from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, and then proceeded to get her Master's in Health Sciences Human Nutrition from Deakin University, Australia in 2006. Currently, she is a Senior Clinical Dietitian serving at Penang Adventist Hospital in Malaysia. In the past 29 years of clinical service, she had an opportunity to share timeless health principles in the prevention and management of all lifestyle-related diseases. Of patients from all walks of life, ages, and cultures with various health conditions are the living evidence on the therapeutic power of wholesome, natural foods in restoration to resilient health. To talk about Heal Your Lifestyle Through Diet, I present to you Miss Helen Wong-Chin.
Welcome and thank you so much for joining our health program today. Today we are going to share with you some of the principles how to stay healthy. And I'm going to share with you a few slides that give us some principles, right? How to stay healthy, live long life, and also being productive. Whether you are young, you're old, this session is for you. I believe each one of you realize that health is the most expensive wealth. And what you see expensive, you value it even better. Now, as we look at how we come into the existence of this world, each one of us is very special. There is nobody in the whole world exactly like you. Everything is different. And that's why we said each of us is the one and only individual that has the same 100% feature. And we look at the body made up of a few systems, more than 10 systems that coordinated so well with one another, synchronized well in order to give us a good health and sustain our needs every day. Now, all these systems work in various ways of what we call health principles, meaning these are the SOP, standard operating procedure, how the body works. But what I like to share with you today is one of the most important health principles is the life of the body is in the blood. In my years of service, I realized that many of my patients came to me with all kinds of abnormal, either increase or decrease from the normal standards of their blood test result. When was the last time you did your blood test? It's good to review it again. And as your age increase is good, maybe above 30 years old or 40 years old, it's good to do your blood test every year. If there's some abnormality, maybe more than once a year. So when you look at your blood test, you realize that you have certain sugar level. You also have certain cholesterol level. You have certain blood pressure. You have certain uric acid level. All these are the parameters or indicators whether our body is in the good status of health. And I start to realize that the body is so powerful that it's able to generate blood. We do not need, if there is no issue, we do not need blood transfusion every day. Why? Because the body has been designed to make blood. And where do you get the raw material to make blood? There are many components which I'm going to share, but there's very close connection between what we call food and blood connection. And in order for us to appreciate that, I start to realize that when patients come to see us, years before the disease set in, there's already some abnormalities in the blood. For example, the blood sugar is supposed to be 4 to 5.6. Suddenly the sugar went up to above 10. For example, the cholesterol could be at least not more than 5.2. But some people have higher than 5.2. So I realized that all these blood tests doesn't happen overnight. Okay, there are choices that we made from young, from small, that affected. And I come to notice that all the lifestyle-related diseases, they have one common feature, that is they are blood-based. So if I want to prevent all these diseases, I want to manage well, meaning we need to get back to blood, right? How to form healthy, normal blood for healthy body. Now, since it is blood-based, let's look further. What are the basic elements for healthy blood? Very simple. There are more to this, but at least top 3. Number 1, the oxygen is transported through our blood. When we look at the blood, it's red color. The red blood cells, the center of it actually has hemoglobin, which is the oxygen carrier. That's why within 3 minutes, if we don't have enough oxygen in the bloodstream to the brain, done. And the blood can flow because the plasma of the blood made up of about 90%, which is plain, pure water, and more than thousands of nutrients. So our blood circulation system is actually the most powerful transportation system, very busy at each moment of our life. Now, knowing that the blood is so important for our existence, today I'd like to share with you how through diet you can actually form a healthy good blood and prevent diseases or manage whatever health conditions that you already have. But before I proceed on, I would like to acknowledge that the life that we have, the food that we have, the healthy body that we have, the health that we value the most is not coincident. It's not magic that we have all this available. But we need to acknowledge that there is one powerful source that provides all this, the source of life, the creator of life, the maker of life, and he designed our body beautifully and powerfully. Now, by acknowledging that there is source of life, source of food, and source of healthy body, we need to know that there is history to humans' origin. And actually, the truth is, human is created days after food has been created. And as we look at all this food that are available in the whole world, there are many types of them, many colors. There's full of varieties. So as we look at the feature of food that best for our blood, best for our body, they have common feature. Number 1, it has to be wholesome, meaning it didn't go through any processing in the factory, unless you want to do some blending at home when you are cooking. Number 2, they are so natural that the colors are still there. And then there's full of variety, so they will never get bored. Next, all these nutrients are the one that going to help our body to meet all the requirements. And if you were to get the food in the whole world and try to list down all the nutrients, it's endless. Too many, there's thousands and thousands of nutrients. But I'm going to make your life easy and easy for you to apply in your daily life. So in order for us to get all these thousands of nutrients, remember the word original. Because only food that are original provide all the good profile of nutrients. Now, how to know how many nutrients that I get from this type of food, from that type of food? I like to introduce to you another very basic principles of nutrition, and that is we go back, we group all the original natural food into 4 food groups. How many? 4 food groups. And number one, food that gives us energy. Without this energy, our body cannot function. We can just lie down. We cannot do anything. And after you have adequate energy, the other functions of the body need thousands of nutrients, vitamins, fiber, and that's where the vegetables will provide all the few hundreds of nutrients. Then comes fruits. The difference between vegetables and fruits taste sweet, right? Meaning it has natural sugar as well. So if I am a diabetic, I have to take fruits within the right amount. Now what happened when I have my whole grain, my vegetables, and my fruits at the same combinations of meal, I already made 50% of the protein that I need. So the fourth group is actually the protein group. And you can get complete protein from plant as well. Now, what I like to dwell on is the first group, which is whole grain. You call whole grain if you have this structure. And if you notice whole grain, they are not white. Either they are brown, they are beige in color, or they are yellow. And you can only call a grain whole grain if they meet this criteria. Number one, they have 6 layers of fiber. And this fiber become a covering coat that is actually helps the starch not to be easily exposed. And what happens when we consume whole grain? This fiber will actually slow down the release of starch so that my sugar will not shoot up, I don't get hungry so easily, and I also can help to manage my meal portion. I don't need to keep eating and I don't have to gain weight unnecessary. So I believe if you want to manage or you want to maintain good healthy weight, the right amount of whole grain will help you. At the same time, the sugar will not get released too fast because there are fibers that slow down the release of sugar. So I can prevent diabetes or I can manage diabetes better. Number 3, the fiber actually serve as housekeeping service, It helps to remove toxic, it helps to remove cholesterol from my digestive system. And the fourth one is even more amazing. It contains more than 20 types of vitamin B complex. And these vitamin B complex are actually what we call catalysts. They are required to help the enzymes and the hormones to work in the most effective way. This is also powerful if you heard the food that's suitable for nerve, the food that helps to help our brain to think in a very, very excellent way. Whole grains with all the vitamin B complex, serotonin, is very, very, very rich. And there's more than 50 types of nutrients in whole grain. Now, if you're tired of eating rice, you don't have to worry because there are other varieties. For example, you want to eat corn, you want to eat wheat, you want to eat barley, you want to eat oats. So, one of the comment made by my patient or my client that I'm seeing, when they know the benefits of unpolished rice or oats, they start to consume. But they realize the unpolished rice is very hard and dry. So I'm going to share with you how to cook unpolished rice, simple basic step, so that it's tasty, it's easier for you to digest, and it helps with the good outcome, right? Here with me, I like to show you there's 2 types of rice. This is white rice, which is so common in all the place that we buy our rice from. And this is brown. As we have mentioned earlier, anything that is brown, beige, they still have the original structure, which is the 6 layers of fiber. Now, since the rice have 6 layers of fiber, we need to know that the water that we use to cook this rice is different from white rice. If I cook the brown rice exactly like white rice, that's why the unpolished rice become very dry, very hard, not tasty, and not easy to be digested. Now I'd like to share with you a very simple step how to make your unpolished rice cook and easily digested. I'm going to show you my fingers. Usually we add on water. If let's say this is the surface of the rice, we measure from the top part of the rice surface, then we measure the water up to here, right, for white rice. But for unpolished rice, I have to add a little bit more. If you look at our fingers, there's line number 1, line number 2. If I put too much, it becomes porridge. So what I need to do is only about a quarter of this line above a little bit here. Then after I measure the water correctly, adequately, I need to soak my rice maybe half an hour, 1 hour, depends on how intact is all the 6 layers of unpolished rice that you bought. So what happens after you soak, the vitamin B complex will be there already. You do not need to remove the water. Before that, you need to wash your rice at least 3 times so that you don't have to change water after you soak your rice. After you soak it for 1 hour or half an hour, you cook your rice and it becomes very fluffy, very easy, and tastes nice as well. So enjoy the taste of original unpolished rice. Apart from unpolished rice that we need to learn how to cook, some people, they heard oats is so powerful. Oats has what we call the best fiber in the world, beta-glucan. And there are many types of oats. Which one that I need to cook? Which one that I need to soak and just soak with hot water? Well, all these different type of oats, for example, rolled oats, cooking oats, or instant oats, they all have gone through different processing. If you wish to have the original one, definitely is rolled oats. So I'm going to share with you how to cook yummy, tasty rolled oats. I like to show you how original oats look like. See, it's like flat because this oats has been flattened, so we call it rolled oats. Now rolled oats have all the fiber, all the nutrients. If I just soak it, then there's not enough heat to break down the starch, and that can cause fermentation in the digestive system, and it's not healthy for the stomach and also for our small intestine. So it's very simple methods to cook the rolled oats or quick cooking oats. You get hot boiling water that you already cook until it's boiled, and you soak it. You soak the oats with that hot boiling water for about 7 minutes, good 7 minutes. But you need to have a space for the oats to expand. After 7 minutes, you see a very amazing effect. The whole oats will actually expand almost double or triple from this volume. That's why you need a bigger bowl, and it's all dried up. The fiber has absorbed all the water, the hot water. Why hot? So that it is quick, otherwise you have to soak it many hours. Then after 7 minutes, you notice the oats is really dry. You just add on some water or soya milk or almond milk or oat milk to the amount of thickness that you want. Then you just cook the oats for 2 good minutes. 2 good minutes. After 2 minutes, the starch all expand, become very, very soft and smooth. Then you can pour it into the breakfast bowl or whatever cereal bowl that you have. Then this is an open recipe. If you wish to cut banana, you can add on banana. If you want to add on steamed sweet potato, you want to make your oats purple color, you add on your steamed purple sweet potato or the orange sweet potato. Or you don't have any potato, you go and steam pumpkin. Then you add on, you want to put raisins, sunflower seeds. It is so yummy and nice. If I am not a diabetes, I can put some honey, some brown sugar, a little bit of salt will enhance the taste. But if I have sugar issue, no worries. You can put all the dry fruits at the right amount. Raisins, maybe 1 date, or maybe some goji berry. Then you can also, if you do not wish to have the sweetened oats in their natural way, you can put salt, you can put egg white, you can put other vegetables and make it a savory porridge. It is so quick and easy to prepare. And oats is not only meant for breakfast, it's also meant for your dinner, so that if you come back from work, you don't have to spend so much of time preparing an elaborate meal. I also would like to share with you that in starch, for example, unpolished rice, oats, the starch in whole grain, we call it polysaccharide. If you just soak it with water, the chemical structure will not be broken. So we need to apply heat. So in whole grain, we have what we call starch or polysaccharide. And this polysaccharide, they are all very closely knitted. Their chemical bond is very strong. Now, if we were to just soak this starch without heat, the chain will still be remain and is not good for our digestion. Therefore, it's very important that we cook our rice, our oats properly, so that with the applications of heat, the chain can be broken easily for us to digest, and also is good for our digestive system, right? So there's a process called gelatinization, meaning the starch get broken by heat. So if you heard people say, I just soak my oats overnight, you need to ask. If this instant oat is fine, but if this rolled oats, learn from this session how you can cook healthy oats. Now, how much grain do I need? If my weight is normal, within normal BMI, and then I don't use so much of energy, I'm adults, I'm not growing up, okay? This size of feast is the amount of cooked grain, as you can see from the slides, right? But if I am thin, I work very hard, okay? I use a lot of energy, and I'm still a growing age, growing children. What happens is you need to look for dietitian to get the right amount, because each person is personalized. Now, how about bread? Of course, white bread has been bleached from all the nutrients. That's why it's important to go back to eating wholemeal bread. If let's say this is your palm size, depending on your current weight, male or female, this one slice of bread, either 2 or 3 or 4, depends to your personal requirement. So here, I'm not able to quantify because each of you have different needs. Now, our blood sugar is already an indicator that the body needs blood. A healthy fasting blood sugar can be ranging between 4 to 5.6. Too low, below 4, not good. Above 5.6, the blood gets sticky. So how the blood sugar, fasting blood sugar, can be maintained very good? Whole grain, at the right timing, at the right portion. Now the next group I'm going to dwell a little bit is the assistance for whole grain, which is vegetables. And from the slides you can see that you have at least 8 treasures of nutrients from vegetables. So if I have issue from small, I don't like vegetables, what you can do is you slowly try one type at a time. It takes maybe about 3 to 4 weeks for you to get used to. And after you get used to one type, you try another type. There's a world of vegetables for you to choose from. Okay? And why vegetables are actually full with colors? Because they have the longest list of nutrients. If you take it raw, they have the highest life enzyme also, which is a very powerful for detoxification. As you have seen that from plant, there are at least 3 subgroups of protein as well, from beans, from nuts, and seed. Therefore, you have a lot of varieties. And as you combine it with starch, with whole grain, with vegetables and fruits, you have a perfect list of nutrients already. But some people felt that, wow, beans, maybe it contains uric acid. Well, beans contain purine, but purine is not uric acid. So if I eat beans and my joints start to feel inflamed and pain, that could be because years before that I already consumed food that high in uric acid, and the beans, in order to help the joint to have a better, cleaner environment, maybe that is one of the detoxification process. So if you have joint pain, you can cut down the amount of beans, right? So next one, I like to share with you, there are many types of beans. Now, beans, you need to soak it at least 6 hours, 12 hours, so that it is easily digested. Easily digested. We don't have bloatedness. And let's say you feel that, wow, today I didn't have my fish or my chicken. If you have tempeh, if you have protein base from soya base has equivalent high quality protein compared with other animal protein. And for tempeh, which is one of the food that made up of soya bean, it has vitamin B12 as well. Now, what is the secret after you eaten all this food? How it forms blood? Look at the slide. The center part of the body is our digestive system. So when we eat, the entrance of food is from our mouth, right? So we got to chew. Make sure you chew well, maybe 20 minutes per meal. After you consume all these healthy 4 food groups and then water in a very consistent way. Of course, I don't recommend you to drink water during meal. You drink your water 15 minutes before meal and 15 minutes after, and every hour between that 4 hours of meal interval. So after you chew your food well, the digestive system will start to digest. We start to absorb all these nutrients. That's why you need time, because the digestive system is time regulated and volume regulated. After about 4-5 hours, if you have taken a complete good meal, what you have consumed definitely will become blood. From our digestive system, which is the small intestine, this blood will be transported to our liver. Our liver is a very amazing organ. At any given time, the liver can do thousands of work. And what happens when the blood reaches the liver will manage, will coordinate from the liver. From the liver, it will be pumped by our heart to the other parts of the body, including our cells. And then after the cells receive all this powerful, healthy blood, with adequate oxygen, with adequate water, then it will start to have some byproduct. So the byproduct will be transported by the blood again to our colon for solid waste and to our kidney for liquid waste. Now, this framework, how we can stay healthy, is regardless whether the baby is still in the mother's womb or until old age. This is a very, very basic, but if we miss this process, it will lead to production of unhealthy blood. So from this framework, you realize that if I want to protect heart disease, is also start with how I choose my food. I'm going to share with you in a very basic practical way what causes the heart to get blocked towards the end of this sharing. Now, what do you see here? Beautiful heart. And in order for the heart to work well, you need very healthy stomach, you need very healthy pancreas, you need good gallbladder and good duodenum. Now, in order for the liver to receive all the nutrients, come back to your 4 basic food groups again with adequate amount of water. Now, as I mentioned, after the liver actually start to coordinate, to align all the nutrients back according to our needs, that blood will be pumped by the heart. And the heart, if you look at here, is full of blood network. Why heart disease become number 1 disease? If I don't screen well, I didn't choose my food well, my liver start producing a lot of cholesterol. Which organ will receive all this fat-based blood? Our blood is supposed to be water-based, but if I don't choose my food well, there's too much of fat, all the fat start to get deposited in my heart. Do you love your heart? Every minute, your heart will pump at least 60 times. You count, if every minute's about 60 times, in 60 time in average, you count it by 24 hours, how many times your heart has pumped. And you count it by weeks and months and the years of your age. Therefore, what we choose to care for our heart matters. Now, the heart being a pump, full of blood vessels, if my blood is water-based, cholesterol under control, it will not get clogged throughout my life. We are born with very beautiful vessels. But what causes this fat to get clogged, wrong place in the heart? You'll be surprised. How can we protect our heart? We need to be very mindful how we manage cooking oil and the types of fat in our diet. Most people said, I drink water, I don't drink oil. Nobody feel comfortable of drinking oil. But I'm going to share with you, based on the food that you eat outside or you cook at home, if the cooking methods involve a lot of oil, you can see how much excess oil that our body gets in a day. Oil is required for our health, but if it is excess of oil, you know what happens? The excess oil will get into the liver. The liver has what we call cholesterol factory. And once the liver start to use this excess oil, whether maybe you can buy the most expensive oil, the excess oil become cholesterol, then it gets into the blood circulation system. So I'm going to share with you the hidden fat that if we are not aware of, it will clog the heart. Now, to help you to understand, I'm going to show you, this is 1 teaspoon. Okay, 1 teaspoon, which is about 5 ml. If you look at the slides, the 5 ml teaspoon is that size. So based on this 1 teaspoon of oil, we are going to do some guessing work, okay? Guess so that you know how to estimate whether you have consumed more oil than what you have you needed. If I steam food, I just put a few drops of oil, maybe the most is 1 teaspoon. If I were to stir fry, I need to put a little bit more of oil. 1 dish for a person, maybe I need 2 or 3 teaspoons. But if I need to cook for my family, actually 2 to 3 teaspoons can cook for 4 to 5 people already. But look at this. If I were to deep fry in a pool of oil, cooking oil, 1 piece of this size of chicken will absorb, including the fats in the skin, or if I coat it with butter, at least 4 to 7 teaspoons in a piece of moderate sized drumstick. Now, let's do some guessing and learn from this so that you know how to estimate how much of oil that you consume each day. Some people will never gain weight, but the excess oil will get into liver and become cholesterol. Even if I'm a vegetarian, I'm on plant-based. So how the food is cooked matters a lot. I'm not too sure whether you're familiar with this. This is what we call curry puff. And curry puff, you need butter and you need to deep fry them. One piece of curry puff, how many teaspoons? 5 to 6. 1. Sometimes we don't eat 1, we eat more than 2. This is, in Malaysia, we call it pisang goreng or banana fritters. This is all swimming in the pool of water. Just one piece will already cost you 4 to 5 teaspoons. How about this? Curry is one of the traditional food, right? Whether in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and I believe in Thailand, in all the Asian countries, we love curry. So if curry, you put some chicken, you put some coconut milk. Some people like to fry something with it. One bowl of chicken curry will cost at least 7 to 8 teaspoons. You look at the swimming oil on it. So next, as I mentioned earlier, one medium-sized drumstick already will cost 4 to 7 teaspoons. The moment you increase the surface area, you cut the fish fillet, you deep fry it until it becomes so crunchy, it will cost you 5 to 7 teaspoons of oil. Our heart supposed to be a passage for water-based blood. Now what happened to the highway that passing through the blood vessels in the heart? You can look at this. I'm not too sure whether you've been to our island called Penang. These are some of the famous food in Penang. So much of oil. That's why the food very tasty. Anything high in oil can be very tasty, very aromatic, and can be very addictive as well. Next, if I like to fry the chicken, put some curry gravy, this is all what we call fusion. The amount of teaspoon is even higher. Coconut-based rice with the fried stuff, easily 8 to 10 teaspoons. That is only in one meal. What if every meal I consume 1 or 2 of this high oil content or hidden fats food? As I mentioned, the principles of health is the blood is water-based. Once I start to bring in more fat, after 20 years, easily the fat start to deposit on the blood vessels because fat and water cannot mix. So anything excess start to deposit. And in the heart, the blood vessels is not big, it's very narrow. It's small blood vessels, so it can deposit easily and cause narrowing. So usually in our hospital, we do open heart, many cases every day. And most of the time when I ask back 20 years ago what happened, these are the food that they usually consume, right? Now, some people say, I take boiled soup. I boil these bones, I boil chicken legs. What happens when we consume all these? They are very high in uric acid and cholesterol. It will clog the blood vessels in the heart as well. So, after knowing the excess content of oil and fat in all this deep fried food, you notice is the deep fried food, oily food with maybe coconut milk or other cream that make the food very, very oily. If you wish to add in coconut milk once in a while, it's okay, but let it be part of the amount that your body required. So, sure you'll be asking, Helen, how much should I consume? If you are male, adults, not growing, and your body weight is just nice, your cholesterol is not elevated or not above the normal level, you can actually use about 8, 9, or 10 teaspoons of oil per day. So that you divide it into your 3 meals, for your breakfast, for your lunch, and for your dinner. Not everything in one meal. For ladies, you can enjoy between 7 to 8 teaspoons. For ladies, you can enjoy between 7 to 8 teaspoons. So how can you achieve that amount of oil in order that your other nutrients with right amount of oil will not cause adverse effect? If you look at the slides, there are many healthier cooking methods. You don't have to depend on deep fried food. Moreover, when you consume the deep fried food from outside, most of the oil has been reused, and that's increased the trans fatty acids, which is very inflammatory and deposits in the blood vessels even faster. Now, we are coming to the end of this sharing. You have a choice whether you want to choose original food with moderate intake of cooking oil, okay, or you want to eat all the fatty, yummy meals outside. The choice is yours. But are you ready to face the consequences? You have free choices, but the consequences is not free. You got to face the consequences. I believe we only have one highway to health, and that is by having a healthy blood, the lifeline of the body. So I hope with this simple sharing, you can make a better choice of food as part of your lifestyle. So after this sharing, after knowing the blood is so important, the lifeline of the body, I hope you make better choices in terms of the 4 food groups of food. Of course, there's other element of lifestyle like exercise, drinking enough water, sleeping early and a good amount of hours. All this combination of healthy lifestyle will help us to produce healthy blood. And with healthy blood, regardless of what age we are, then we can truly enjoy that health is the most valuable health. I wish you all the best as you make the right choices every moment. Thank you.